In this series I'm making a long run of cabinets with bookcases above and space for a TV, and in this video I talk you through the design decisions that lead to this quite complex build. So, we're a couple of days into this job already and you'd expect me to be well underway. I've actually done alright. The doors are made. Everything's cut and marked. Any of the shelves that need lipping are all done. It's just a bit, there's a lot going on with this job, and I just wanted to explain why it was so, it's not difficult, complex, a little convoluted. It's a fairly straightforward run of cabinets, a double and two singles. It's quite wide, about 2.8 metres long, a little over 9 foot. And unlike the cabinets that you've seen me build before, these are actually kind of freestanding. So 3 cabinets, a double and 2 singles. You'll have a top that goes onto there, above that, overhangs the front of the doors slightly, and overhangs the end slightly as well. So it's a single continuous top. And because of that, the construction of the cabinets is slightly different as well. And then above that, reflecting the widths of the cabinets, you've got 2 single bookcases at either side and a wide central bookcase with the bottom half of it empty, basically, where there's going to be a television going. Now, on the face of it, that's not overly difficult to do. It's a bit more complicated than that, and I'm going to show you why with a little model that I made earlier. Okay, so if you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know roughly how I build these sort of cabinets. We've got a little softwood plinth, and in this case we've got 2, we're looking in sort of section view here, yeah? We've got 2 single cabinets and a double that are all lined up together. We've got a top that goes across all of them. And then we've got bookcases above. We've got a single, a wide sort of double, and then we'd have another single on this side. I haven't made that, sorry about that. Now on the face of it, there's nothing wrong with that. But for me personally, when I get a run of bookcases, with cabinets and not so bad, but with bookcases particularly, I really dislike this sort of double thickness in the uprights. I prefer those to be the same thickness as the shelves themselves. I just find it looks clunky, it looks ugly, it's awkward. It's the kind of thing you'd get if you bought, Billy bookcases and cabinets from IKEA. Got a house full of Billy bookcases. I think they're fantastic, but they're not made for you. They're just a off-the-shelf kind of thing. So, and the other thing is this central span is 1300 mil to fit the TV in. 51 inches, something like that. So quite wide. So 18 mil isn't going to cut it. It's got to be 25. And in fact, I'm going to make up this bottom shelf with from a sort of a laminate of 18 mil plywood and 6 mil MDF with a metal strip in there as well to try and keep it all together a bit more. So what I like to do to avoid these double thickness uprights when I build a run of bookcases like this, and again, as I say, we'll need 25 mil thick shelves, is I build it in modules like this. So you've got a 25 on the outside and then a 12, and then the next section you'd have another 12 and your 25 mil thick shelves and another 12 upright, and then you have another 12 mil upright and a 25 at the end. So then the centres of the bookcases can line up with the centres of the cabinets. The outside line up, it looks a little bit funny here because these are so much thicker than this, but of course when you've got doors on there you don't see that. So overall it kind of hangs together much better. These are just glued together and clamped, and they have a capping piece on the front which is 25mm, so these would be 24mm plus a little bit of glue or whatever in there. So it's, visually you're not going to really see the difference. And the other thing I'm going to do with this centre section is, rather than make this as one, because that's going to be pretty heavy, I'm actually going to cut this here. So this section becomes part of this outer section. I'm going to rebate this shelf into the edge, into the upright on each side, so the bottom of that shelf has something to bear against here, so that it's not just sort of hanging in on dominoes and screws. These will have a back fitted to them. This will have a back fitted to it just at the top half. That'll be empty because I'm not sure if the clients are going to hang the TV off the wall or on a stand. And again, we'll have both bookcases will have a full back to them. So I mean, you can see obviously it gets a bit complicated with the widths of the shelves. These shelves are actually staying the same. These get a little bit wider in comparison to the cabinets below. And then of course we've got the depths of the shelves to worry about as well. This edge will be exposed, so the back on this side will need to be rebated, so we can make this shelf upright just shorter. The bottom half of this one will go all the way back, so that can be deeper, but the top half will have a back to it. So there's lots going on. There's lots to think about. There's a fixed shelf on each of the bookcases at 500mm, and again at 700 down. So they're adjustables between then. There's an upright in the upper shelf to split it so that the client has some sort of little vases and statues and things, but I want rows of holes in each of those as well, so that I can give the client the option to put sort of another shelf or two in there if they want it. So lots going on, lots to think about, which is why I haven't quite got quite as far with it as I thought I might have done yet. But we'll press on, I think, and start. I'll build the cabinets first, and then I'll start fretting about the bookcases afterwards, because the cabinets are fairly straightforward. Cabinets are they're going to be built kitchen cabinet style, and they won't actually have a solid top to them. They'll have like a rail front and back, because there's a top going over the whole thing. Normally, when I make this stuff, and I don't think I've mentioned it before, I do the cut list. I've got a spreadsheet which I've had for a long time. It gives me the carcass sizes. It calculates the size for the panel doors, the size of the back, and the bookcase above it. Obviously I couldn't use that in this case. I wondered if that might be of any interest to you. I can probably rejig it onto a Google Docs Sheets or whatever you call it, spreadsheet, so it's readily available, and maybe do a little video where I talk you through it. But let me know in the comments anyway if that's something that would be of interest. It's something I've used a lot, and it certainly helps me out when I do a lot of these sort of cabinets. So yeah, on with the cabinets next. Cabinet construction is going to be very similar to all the others. As I said, the only slight difference is going to be the top, so we have two rails instead of a solid top. Using a standard 5mm bit in the domino, I'm putting mortises in the sides and base of the carcasses, just using the pins as reference. Then arranging and identifying the top, front and back rails, I'm putting a mortise in either end.